With Minecraft still tearing up the box office, and The Last of Us making headlines, albeit for the wrong reasons, video game adaptations are all the rage in Hollywood. So now, we just got the announcement of yet another one. A truly action-packed, nerve-wracking game with a massive, sprawling fanbase that have been waiting for this, namely OutRun.
Checkpoint!
Yes, that OutRun. So, what are they smoking? Let's find out. All joking aside, being all about the Sega Mega Drive, I'm actually all for an OutRun adaptation, depending on how you choose to do it. For those who came in late, or perhaps more accurately, those who were born after the 90s, OutRun is an arcade driving game released by Sega in September of 1986. It was known for its, at the time, pioneering hardware and graphics, non-linear gameplay, and selectable soundtrack. Because yes, it was a car simulator where you could choose which track to play on the car stereo. And if you played it in its original arcade iteration, rather than the later home console ports, it came in a deluxe cabinet with hydraulic motion simulator. The stated goal is to avoid traffic and reach one of 5 destinations before time runs out. But really, it's about driving a muscle car with a hot chick by your side, enjoying the scenery and the dope music booming from the stereo. That's what the game was really about. A lifestyle. The original game was a smash hit, which was ported to multiple different consoles. Most notably Sega's own Mega Drive, also known as Genesis in the US and literally nowhere else. The game was followed by later sequels, which in later generations turned into more generic racing games. But still, there is only one OutRun, and that is the original classic, which remains popular with retro gamers and Sega fans to this day. And not really all that many else, if we're completely honest. Kind of doubt the game would do much for anyone born later than the 90s, and to put that into context, we are now as far removed from the 90s as the 70s were from the 90s, or even the 60s from the 90s, depending on which years you choose to compare. Point is, if they think there's a Minecraft-size audience here, they're sadly mistaken. What they have here is a 16-bit era game, which was all about gameplay rather than story, but I happen to believe that is a good thing. The problem with more modern games, with like 4 hours of story-driving cutscenes, or what have you, is that the filmmakers have to cut so much story down in order to fit a 90 to 2 hour running time, which runs the risk of pissing off the built-in fans something fierce. With an older game, which is all about the gameplay, the story was by necessity a bit simpler, meaning the filmmakers have much greater liberty when it comes to coming up with a story they can work with, and which still falls within the parameters of staying faithful to the game, so the fans will accept it. The Sonic the Hedgehog franchise being the best example that comes to mind here, because like Sonic, OutRun will be all about what the filmmakers can do with this. So, which filmmakers are we working with here? Well, let's head on over to Deadline Hollywood and their exclusive. Bay and Sydney Sweeney team on movie adaptation of OutRun video game at Universal. Well, that's hot chick and explosion sorted, if nothing else. Let's see what more they have to say. With a Minecraft movie owning the box office over the past month and HBO's The Last of Us returning with a bang, yeah, I'll say, Universal is looking to add its own video game adaptation to the mix with the help of 2 big superstars. Sources tell Deadline that the studio is developing a feature adaptation of Sega's iconic arcade video game OutRun, with Bay attached to direct and Sydney Sweeney aboard to produce. Jason Rothwell will pen the script. So Sydney Sweeney is just producing? Well, that's disappointing. Hopefully she will step into an acting role as well. But the really important thing here, more than Bay or anything else, is the writer, as this project will live and die by its script. If the script is compelling in its own right, while also hitting the notes any outright adaptation has to hit, and granted, that's not many, but that makes them all the more important to hit, then this just might work. But it has to hit that unique OutRun feel. This can't be a genetic racing movie. If it is, it'll fail. So, what has Jason Rothwell written before? Well, a number of movies I've yet to see, but which a cursory glance tell me are dark, morose, creepy, and a bit disturbed. I can't help but feel that OutRun should be something of a feel-good movie. So let's hope the reason Universal decided to pick this up is because the writer went outside his usual wheelhouse and really knocked this out of the park. Fingers crossed for that, at any rate. The write-up continues. Bay will also produce alongside partner Brad Fuller through their Platinum Dunes banner, which has a first-look deal with the studio. Okay, never mind Universal then, this is Platinum Dunes OutRun. Great. Expectations suitably lowered. The write-up continues. The project is in development. As of right now, Sweeney is only on board to produce. Toru Nakahara from Sonic the Hedgehog Parts 1-3, Knuckles, and Golden Axe will also produce for Sega, and Suji Utsunumi will oversee the project on behalf of Sega. The one really interesting thing here is the tacit confirmation that the Golden Axe movie is in development. If there is one project I hope they don't screw up, but go full Conan the Barbarian on, it is that one. But more on that as we learn more. For now though, that is all we know about OutRun. Even the write-up states, plot details are vague. So all we can do at this point is hope that the powers that be don't go too wild and understand that in order to succeed, in order to follow the Minecraft formula, the movie has to provide the same experience as the game. If they can do that, if they can keep the budget in check, this just might work. But do you think they are going to take the right approach to this? Or does the involvement of Michael Bay and Platinum Dunes signal that they just might go a little bit overboard on a game that's supposed to look and feel like this? Let me know your thoughts in the comments.